These videos do not take into account the price of a screen, keyboard, mouse, and OS. YouTube, Cameron here, and today this is the first video for my new gaming PC range. The goal for these videos is to show you what sort of performance and what sort of components you can get for a certain budget or price range. So today we're looking at a PC which will cost you in total £425. This PC build will run modern day games in medium settings and in full HD. So yeah, let's just jump straight to the video, shall we? So first we have the CPU. I have chosen the AMD Athlon X4 760K Black Edition quad-core processor. So this is one of the best quad-core processors that you can get for £64. It uses the FM2 socket from AMD. It's a quad-core processor, like I said earlier, that runs at 3.8 GHz, which is amazing power for the price range. It has 100 watts, or uses 100 watts of electricity, which is pretty much average, and it has 4 megabytes of cache. So yeah, this processor, it's not one of the FX, which is AMD's top of the range processors, but this processor does have great power and performance for its price range, so that's why I went with it. So moving on to the motherboard, I have chosen the Asus F2A55 motherboard. So obviously, because the processor is a FM2 socket, I've had to choose a FM2 socket motherboard for compatibility reasons, of course. So it's a decent motherboard for its price. The problem with FM2 sockets is it's quite hard to find a full-size ATX motherboard, because most FM2 sockets use micro ATX or micro ITX motherboard. So yeah, it's a bit complicated. But this motherboard has 6 set of 3 ports, which for your hard drives and for data transfer, it's the best of the best. It has a PCI Express 2.0. Yes, okay, it's not the last generation ones, but it allows you to have a graphics card. It has 4 memory slots, DDR3 slots. This can take up to 32 gigs of RAM. It covers most RAM speeds, and it allows you to use Crossfire. Allows you to do Crossfire X. So for those of you looking to do multiple AMD graphics cards in the future, this is one of the motherboards to go for, and it's only going to cost you £46. So moving on to the RAM, I have chosen the Kingston HyperX Genesis, 8 GB of DDR3 memory. It's 2 sticks of 4 GB running at 1600 MHz, so it's a kit of 2. The HyperX Genesis DDR3 RAM, it's made by Kingston. Kingston are the best people in memory, like USB sticks, DDR3 memory, and all of that. And from what I've seen on YouTube and looked around on the internet, it's really good RAM, and it's and because it's the HyperX, which is their top of the range stuff, it allows you great performance for a great price. So it's going to see about £60. Yes, it's quite expensive for 8 gig memory, because RAM prices, some of you may have known, RAM prices have shot through the roof in these last 2 years. But they're gradually coming down a bit by bit. But yeah. So okay, moving on to the graphics card. Since this is a budget build, I haven't been able to go completely mad with the graphics card, but I've taken the Asus R7 260X Direct CU2 OC graphics card from Asus. It gives you 2 GB of GDDR5 memory, running at GDDR5 memory. The processor inside is running at 1188 MHz. That's insane speed for a graphics card at this price range. So obviously it uses Asus's Direct CU2 OC cooler. Yes, it's not the same one we see in the the R9 270X, 280X, 290X, and that, but it still has 2 fans, copper heat sink, but not copper pipes, and well, it runs, it runs really fast, quiet and cool, gives you ultimate performance, and it gives you really good graphics and frame rates in games. So this graphics card is going to set you back £102. With that, for that price and what sort of card performance you get from it, I really can't argue from that. So moving on next to the hard drive. Okay, I'm not going to spend too much time on this. Hard drive, it's hard drive. It's like so simple. It's not much to choose from. So I've gone with a Western Digital 1TB 3.5 inch hard drive, Kaga Blue. It's 1TB. OS games and that. Just a few tips. When choosing hard drive, if the future, if you want to add an extra one, make sure your hard drive is 3.5 inch, which means it's PC desktop size, and that the spindle rate is at 7,200 RPM, so you get the optimum performance out of your hard drive. I'm not going to say much more because hard drive's a hard drive. It's very basic. We're going to move on to the next. So for this build, I've taken a Corsair Builder Series CXM 500 watt modular power supply, ample power to run our system. It's 80 plus bronze certified, which is perfect for what we need. 80 plus bronze, it's the minimum you should get. If not, you are putting your components at risk. Even if it's a top brand, you're still risking quite a bit. And so it's 500 watts. It's modular, which means you don't have to plug in all the cables. You just use what cables you want. That's about it. So moving on to the case, I have chosen the Corsair Carbide 200R compact ATX computer case. It's an ATX case. It has everything you need: SSD slots, hard disk drive slots, CPU coolers. It's got 7 PCI slots. It can handle pretty much everything. Toolless bays for SSDs, hard drives, as I just said earlier. It's a really good looking case. It already comes with 2 fans, 120 at the front, millimeter, and a 120 millimeter at the back, and it has you can add an extra 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fans on top, so you have a total of 8 in total for optimum cooling. Front panel USB, HD audio, reset. It's a case. And finally, just to round it off, as I was saying about, you can add lots of fans on top. I have added 2 Arctic F12 PWN 4-pin 120mm high performance case fans. They're £4.40 each. 120mm high performance, very quiet for the price, and cost you £10 for 2, which I find is really good. And okay, but this is an optional thing. I have added a DVD RW drive. It's optional. I still like to have a DVD drive in there, just for those times I might need a CD drive from watching a film, want to burst some music off a CD. It's just there, just in case of an emergency. It's entirely up to you. I know lots of people like to download games of Origin and Steam nowadays. It's entirely up to you if you want it or not. But for those who do, it is a part of the build cost, and it's going to cost you can get them for like £10 nowadays. It's just stupidly cheap. So that's the end of this build. I will leave a link to. I will put all the name of the parts in the description, and this build will set you back a £428 16p. And this is the day I did this was the 28th of April, so it's probably not going to vary more than £2 over the next coming few weeks, maybe months. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this build, and subscribe if you want to wait for the upcoming ones. I will be doing budget PCs for £500, 600, 700, up into the thousands. But of course, there aren't many people that want to spend that amount of money on a PC. But for those who do, stay in, subscribe to stay informed for the upcoming videos, and we'll catch you in the next one.